on the DL. I'm D. This is L.
L. Take the L.
Take the L. And we're here with another episode of the podcast. Today we'll talk a little bit about sport. You like sport, Luke?
I don't mind it.
You don't mind it? If you had to choose a favourite sport?
AFL. Footy.
What about, could you explain that for our non-Australian viewers?
Australian Football League. I don't know. You handball, kick, a Sharon.
Yeah.
Piece of pigskin.
A piece of pigskin.
I don't know how to explain it. It's a very complex game, but a very good game.
Perfect. And who do you follow in the good old AFL?
Collingwood. What about you?
Considering we spent time at the grand final together, up the Magpies.
It's a really good Collingwood podcast. It's called Players Nation.
Luke, would you like to explain who runs it?
I don't.
Just a good fan?
It is just a really good one that I listen to every single week.
No, fair. Is there any other sort of sports teams
that
you support, you follow?
Yeah, NRL, West Tigers.
How are they going?
Well, they're not good enough to have a podcast. Yeah, they were like probably a childhood kind of support. Still obviously follow them, but had some good memories following them growing up. So growing up in New South Wales, so rugby league was a very big thing there. So
no, lovely.
What about you?
I'm a big Toronto Raptors fan.
Mm-hmm.
I love my NBA. So they started off the season a bit iffy. We've been absolutely terrible, and then we had this one game against the Bucks where we were the second coming of Jesus. So very inconsistent.
Who's on their team at the moment?
Like the Raptors?
Yeah.
Well, we've got reigning FIBA MVP Dennis Schroeder, Scotty Barnes, young potential, Pascal Siakam, Spicy Pete.
Can't keep up with who's on who's.
Yeah, they do move around very quickly on there. So you follow basketball or anything at all?
Yeah, a little bit basketball. I'm kind of like a bit iffy, like very casual.
Oh, yeah. You know what? There's nothing wrong with that, though.
International, like sports, basketball, NFL.
I was about to say, I feel like with sports like basketball as well, a lot of people aren't like team followers. They follow certain players because, like, obviously in the AFL we have a few personalities down here, but like in America, like their personalities become so much bigger than the sport themselves.
Yeah. No, so I'll probably get a lot of my support out of just playing like NBA 2K or FIFA, but I haven't really played them in the last couple of years, so I feel like I've dropped off. But I'll still like casually follow like Instagram and stuff like for highlights, especially NBA.
Yeah.
Bit of NFL as it gets closer to the end. Do you have an NFL team?
Yes, San Francisco, up the 49ers. I get that from my dad. So my dad was very big into gridiron. He used to play. I even played a season. Don't know if you know that.
I actually thought about playing.
Yeah.
I got really into Madden for a couple of years. I could be a good, I forget all the positions, but the ones that run out on the outside.
Wide receiver?
Yeah. Because it's pretty similar to like an AFL skill where you just, you're running, sidestep, kind of a bit of mix of rugby league as well, running, sidestep, get around the defender, and then it's like you're running back with a flight to take a mark as you would do in like footy as well. So, but yeah, never.
And that's, you know what, that's like Madden, especially Madden, I think 2K and stuff as well. It's made a lot of people enjoy the sport. You know, like Madden, like not a lot of people know, I guess from where we're from, not in America so much, but there's a lot of people that don't know a lot about the NFL but love the sport through like Madden and stuff.
Well, I learnt the sport through Madden.
Exactly.
So I kind of always like thought, oh God, this sport is like, I'd always watch the Super Bowl and how the hell do people watch this? I'd still always enjoy it, but then getting really into Madden for a couple of years and I was like, learnt the sport, how to play, all the rules. I'm like, it's actually such a good sport.
Oh yeah, it is.
Once you know what's going on, how to watch it. And I feel like that people will do the same with like AFL, like Americans watching AFL.
Yeah.
Like, oh God, this is boring. And even saying, like, I copped a lot of like when in New South Wales, like rugby league supporters watching AFL and got to say like it's boring to watch.
Yeah.
But then you get the same here to rugby league. Oh, it's boring to watch. So I don't know. The more you get into a sport, the more you understand it. You get.
I think that's the thing too. People just don't like to take the time to sort of understand the sport, and once you understand the sport,
And once you got players, you know, and
100%.
teams, you have a bit of an interest and a reason to watch it.
Get sucked in very quickly.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you seen, just rerouting back to AFL? Because obviously we both play. It's probably both our main sports. Play. We try.
Suffered through this year.
We're there.
Yeah.
We're physically there. Do you see, I was looking at the news and stuff today, do you see about the 5-player interchange?
Yeah, they're getting rid of the sub, which...
Yeah.
They don't know what they're doing.
Well, I was about to say, I don't know if it's confirmed, but it seems like the AFL's on board with it and the Players Association's pretty...
I reckon they should move to a 6-man bench.
Yeah?
Because that's what will happen anyway.
Probably. Just keep going.
We'll have 5 on the bench and then they'll start wanting a 6th one and they'll end up getting there. But I reckon we're at the point now where, with all the concussion, like how easy a player's was getting subbed off for concussion and then you get another player that's injured. You may as well just have 6 on the bench and let them go for it. So, and then you got no team that's going to end up with kind of 1 on the bench at any point in a game.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it'll still happen, I'm sure. But yeah, and then you give a couple extra spots to guys that are sort of on the fringe in the NFL wanting to get in. I'm happy they're getting rid of the sub though because it's such a.
And so many teams have just taken advantage of it throughout both versions of it.
It's such a shit thing for a player to be the sub. And who was it in Melbourne?
James Jordan?
No, what's his name? He played for the Bulldogs, Shaki.
Oh, Josh Shaki, yeah.
Was it Shaki? He was the medical sub and he never, tactical sub and never came on in the final against us, I think it was.
Yeah.
And it was like, what was the point of him being the sub and then not even getting on?
And that's what I was saying when I said James Jordan. He was a sub heaps of times this year. You feel almost sorry for those players that are there that are just the sub every week. Obviously they're still playing AFL, getting paid.
But you'd rather play a full game.
Oh, 100%. Get the chance.
I'd rather just go play VFL.
Yeah, 100% actually play footy.
Yeah, so
it's a it's a bit of an iffy one. Have you seen in some of the local leagues as well? They actually have a rule where you get an extra interchange if it's I think it's an under 19s player or something.
No, I haven't heard.
So it's if I think there's a couple of leagues that do it. If you want to play someone in the seniors that's 19 or under and play less than 10 games, they're allowed to play an additional, put an additional bench spot on for them.
Oh, that'll end well. I'm sure it'll. I don't know how that's going to work because you got a lot of good young 16-year-olds up that are coming through and playing seniors. As early as 16. So. And handle themselves just as well as the 25 to 30-year-olds. So,
I was wondering if that's something you could see happening in the AFL just to give these younger blokes on a list a chance. Nah.
Because there's another thing that teams just use and abuse and manipulate, and coaches, that's what they all do with every single rule. You change a rule to fix something, and then they're going to manipulate it, and then you're going to have to. And it just continues on and on and on that we keep changing things to fix things and then it keeps getting manipulated. And
obviously the AFL's been pretty good at adjusting the rules year by year very recently. They like to, impartial to a good change.
I'd love for them 1 year just to change nothing.
Yes. Continuum. But
what about the mid-season trade period? It's definitely coming.
I'd love it.
Yeah.
I'd love it.
I'm a bit over it. The trade period at the end of the year, I don't know if I can handle it.
Bit over it. That's almost the best part.
Nah, not this year when you're premiers.
Oh no.
I did not care what was happening.
No, but I think it adds something. I think it adds an extra something. And you watch obviously we'll go back to those American sports. They obviously have the trades through the season as well.
I reckon we should do it. I'd do it through the season.
Yeah.
But I think it just for the AFL want that period of time to be their time where everything's going on, whereas it's happening through the season.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the spotlight anyway because the games are still going on.
Yeah, 100%. I think that thing is as well with a lot of the teams in American sports and the same with AFL, they need time to gel with the team. They're not going to trade someone after 2 games unless it's obviously, a very big trade. I don't know if you saw James Harden got traded to the Clippers.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's a bit weird for it to happen very early in the season. Obviously, there's different things that play into that. But a lot of teams, even with the big periods, they kind of wait to the end of it anyway because they give the team time to gel.
Our schools were different with only 5 on the court. Yeah. I know, obviously, you still have all your tactics.
100%.
You had 22 on the field for footy. 40-man squad. you're not really probably going to be making too many adjustments throughout the year, unless you cop a few injuries to your key forwards and
100%.
Like what we were kind of copying this year.
I was about to say, you'd probably see teams that are contending try and steal pieces from those teams that just realise they're not doing too well to bolster themselves up for a deep finals run. I think that's what it'd probably primarily be used for.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens.
So obviously you used to umpire.
Kind of still. I wouldn't say I used to, because I kind of just always do. Like probably this year, just some school games and stuff like that, but not really doing weekend.
Oh, fair. Obviously, you have a bit more in-depth knowledge than I do about that side of the AFL.
Yeah, they suck.
They suck. Obviously, we're talking about they change the rules a lot. If there was one rule you could change, what would it be?
Just bring in the last touch now.
Instead of the boundary throw-ins?
Yeah, just well, instead of the insufficient intent, just last touch now. I think AFLW do it, SANFL, probably a lot of leagues around Australia are doing it, but it's deliberate was good when it was deliberate.
Yeah,
it was exciting when it actually was deliberate. But this year, especially, we've seen it was just like a kick that you threw on the boot from a congested stoppage, and it was not even intending to go out, but it just went out. It's insufficient intent. So, so many that were getting paid this year, I was like, well, let's just have it last touch.
Yeah, because it basically was last touch at some points anyway.
Yeah, if it's any kind of disposal, just that's it. Yeah. Except for the inside the arcs. So if it's inside either 50, I kind of could still be really deliberate inside those areas. But that's the one off the top of my head. I could probably think of another one, but I don't know right off the top of my head. What about you?
Oh, so this is a hard one for me because I'm not too deep on the rules for you, but I think that's a very good one. That deliberate rule's been very probably misused, I would say, this year. And I think it's such a hard fine line to judge that last touch sort of just makes it sort of black and white as to...
Well, that's what I was probably going to say with a lot of rules in AFL. They need to just make it more black and white.
Yeah.
So it's either this or it's that. It's not the interpretation. Everyone's got a different interpretation of every single decision, that everyone can justify why a decision is correct.
Yeah.
And that's why so many weeks when the umpires have made some really big shockers, that like a Ray Chamberlain or someone from the umpiring department. Chamberlain. Someone from the umpiring department can come out, the umpire's coach, boss, whatever, can come out and actually defend a decision because it is defendable in technicalities and interpretations. Whereas if it's just purely black and white, we stuffed up there.
Obviously, it's good for the integrity of the game for it being black and white, but do you think, I guess from a marketing media standpoint, it's probably beneficial for the AFL to have the grey area because it's what makes people talk.
Yeah.
Mate, I remember first week of finals, no one cared about the finals. All they cared about was Braden Maynard's hit.
Yeah. Another rule I'd look at is the holding the ball in terms of that dragging in one. I think a lot of them aren't. They've unfortunately just been toppled on top of
ball.
And they haven't even touched the footy yet. No chance to get rid of it. Obviously, there are ones where they do drag it in and hold it in and pretend, and I'm happy for them to be paid, but I think they can try and be a bit more black and white with some of those. I know they want to get the game going, but some players and teams get really harshly done sometimes for that. So that's another one I'd look at.
Fair. All right. Well, obviously we like AFL here on the DL. I've got a little bit of a game prepared for you. I know it's your favourite. Have you ever heard of 2 Truths and a Lie?
10 minutes ago.
10 minutes ago. Yes, I had to explain to Luke what the game was before we started. So I've just got a few statements here. Try not to look. I'm trying not to turn stuff too much. But I've got 3 statements here. You got to tell me which one the lie is. All right? So the first 3 is the first grand final to be played at the MCG was in 1902. The second one is St Kilda won their only premiership in 1966 by a single point. And Tony Lockett, the leading goal scorer in the VFL AFL history, kicked 1,400 goals in his career.
I'd say the lie is the first one.
Which one was that one?
The 1902 MCG first grand final. No.
You're wrong, mate.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Tony Lockett only kicked 1,360 goals in his career.
Yeah, I just thought he kicked
So
what was the other one?
yeah,
the St.
Kilda, yeah.
Everyone knows that.
Yeah, 100%. But I can't make it too hard for you. You're already 0 from 1.
That was against Collingwood.
Yes, don't mind me. We're pretty good at losing a premiership.
Yeah, well, we
not
just
this year.
won one, so we're about to go 3-peat.
Not this year. Oh, Pendles is running around.
She's our second audience member because
yes,
someone else is here as well.
Hello, producer Zoe. All right, you ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. The Sydney Swans started as a South Melbourne football club before relocating in 1982. Jim Steins holds the current record for most consecutive games played in VFL AFL history. And the father-son rule in AFL allows clubs to pre-select sons of players who have played more than 200 games for the club.
The third one. It's 100 games.
Perfect. Look at that. See, I'm trying to make them not so obvious, Lars.
No, well, that was obvious.
Oh, yeah. Let us know in the comments if you thought that was obvious. I thought I'd been pretty sneaky there. All right, we'll go straight to the next one. All right. The first ever VFL game was played in 1896. Port Adelaide's AFL journey began in 1997. And Brisbane Lions is a merger of the Brisbane Bears and the Fitzroy Football Club.
Must be the first one.
Why do you think that?
What was the first one again? Because the other two, I think, are correct.
Yeah. The first ever VFL game was played in 1896.
No, it was before that. No, I don't know.
You were right. You were wrong while being right. The first VFL game was played in 1897.
Yeah.
Yes. I've also got all these facts from online sources.
The other two are true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Look at you go, mate. All right, the last one. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
A specky in AFL slang refers to a spectacular mark. The showdown is a match between the Gold Coast Suns and Brisbane Lions. In 1995,
that is the lie. You don't have to finish. Everyone knows showdowns for Adelaide.
You're right.
Q Clash is.
Q Clash, yes. Look at that. See, I was trying to test your knowledge.
Hopefully, you've got a few international listeners. They might not know these.
Hope you've learnt a little bit. Simple.
That wow.
What about the first one?
Did I get that right?
No, you got it wrong. 3 from 4. I'm sorry to say, Luke. One day you'll get 100%. One day. So veering off the topic of AFL for a bit.
Yes.
If you had to choose your favourite athlete ever that didn't play AFL,
I was gonna say, yeah.
Who would you choose?
Okay, I'm gonna go NRL.
Yeah.
Benji Marshall.
West Tigers fan.
No, it's not like LeBron James or anything, but that's what most people will go towards, like NBA players or.
Well, speaking of that, come on, mate. Michael Jordan or LeBron James?
After the last dance, I was like Michael Jordan, but nah, you got to respect LeBron for still going. What is he, 41 now? He's still.
I don't think he's quite that old.
No, yeah, I think he is. Is he?
You know what? We could do a live fact check while you go. I think he's like 38, but if I'm wrong, please roast me. He's 38, see?
40. Well, he could still be playing till 41.
Yeah,
the way
good.
he's going. Yeah, I don't know. Either. Depends what era you grew up watching.
Fair.
But even a lot of LeBron people are going to be, Michael Jordan. But no, yeah, Benji Marshall, he was probably my childhood hero. Reason I loved playing rugby league and touch footy, sidestep, flick passes.
I was gonna say, you look like you could take a hit in rugby league.
And yeah, if you got some spare time, go back and watch 2005 Grand Final, West Tigers versus Cowboys, the Benji Marshall flick pass. And also, he's got a few more till about 2010, 2011, where, it was just incredible what he was able to do. So, in terms of like we talk about Stephen Curry kind of changing NBA, the 3-point shot. Benji kind of changed rugby league for the dance moves and the side steps.
Yeah, like
passes,
the jab step and everything.
Yeah, so Benji Marshall for me. What about you?
Look, I would probably say, obviously, I didn't grow up, like when I grew up and stuff, I would say obviously basketball would be a big one for me. And I would say either Carmelo Anthony or Steph Curry, honestly. It's probably hard. I'd probably say Steph Curry. Just some of the stuff he does is insane, honestly.
Yeah, no, I love Steph Curry as well. And I try and emulate him when I was in high school playing basketball.
Always. Who doesn't?
Just throwing up shots from everywhere. And
well, as you said, he changed the game. Like everyone now just wants to, back in the day it was all about dunks and everything, and now everyone just wants to shoot threes like Steph Curry.
And like so many players coming into the league now are just able to shoot from everywhere. Which,
big, small, doesn't matter. Like
so it has really changed the game. And he doesn't probably get the props he deserves for what he's done, all the accolades he's received.
So you've heard it here first, Benji Marshall or Steph Curry, if you're watching, we'd love to have you on the podcast.
Benji would be great.
Yes, that would be great. I mean, Steph would be great too.
He is going to be the West Tigers coach next year. It was supposed to be like the old
succession plan,
but Tim Sheens has, I think, departed after a very tough year this year. And Benji and Robbie Farah, another one of my childhood heroes, they were both kind of going to take over, I think. But I think it's just Benji.
Oh, yeah.
I could be wrong, but it's kind of like a throwback to the good old West Tigers days of like 05 to 2010, and now we've got Benji back at the helm, so hopefully we're back up.
And Tigers are roaring on up.
Well, we can only go up, I think. I think we finished last, so
there's no further down. That's a very broad spectrum though, first and last in your AFL era.
Yeah, and like so 2010,
West
Tigers, we played the prelim the same day as the Collingwood draw.
Oh yeah.
So watched the draw into then the West Tigers playing, and West Tigers lost by a field goal, 1 point.
Yeah.
But I really thought it was going to be the year that the Tigers and Collingwood were both going to win the premiership.
That would have been good.
So it was a very stressful day, that one, to have a draw and
a
loss by a point in a prelim. And then this year it was complete opposite.
Yes.
I'll take Collingwood's premiership. So
100%, it was great. All right, well, I think that's about all we have time for today. Any parting messages for our adoring fans?
Go Sports.
Go Sports. Up the Sports. All right, have a lovely night, day, evening, morning, whenever you're viewing it, and we'll see you next time.